tuning in to the NSL Offseason podcast.
Hey, I'm Caleb Freeland here. We're filling the gap between the postseason here of 2023 and 2024, and joining me now we have one of the captains from the Saviors, Jaeger. Thank you so much for hopping on here with me.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. And so, again, we're just talking about like the off-season aspect of it. You guys, from my understanding, have a pretty short off-season. You'll be going right back into the grind of it.
Yeah, we're at the moment, we heard that the first tournament for us will probably be early in February. So that means that our prediction was that it will be the end of March. So we wanted to have like November, December as an off season and then starting training again in January. But considering the tournament is there in the early week of February, and also because of the new layout, we decided we start training again in December.
Whew, talk about a tight window.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's probably like 1 or 2 trainings, and then we enjoy the holidays, and then after the holidays we'll get to a more serious grind.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about this because we're just finishing the 2023 season. You guys came in second place. Congratulations. I mean, that's a huge feat. Can you tell us a little bit about what it takes to put a whole season together to reach to this point to perform at globals like that? Yeah,
that's a big plan we had written down. We started off the new year as merge. The Saviors was last year with a few different members, and a few members still stayed. And also, I played for RV last year. I was the captain there, where we did pretty well in the pro division. We ended up third. Well, if I ask Bert, he says second, but we had the same amount of points, but the point difference was a little bit less good for us versus the Reapers. But we won both battles against them, so yeah, it's up to you to decide who was the real second. But they decided at the moment we were third, so that was also pretty nice because we were a new team with all of the tactical rush squad. And in Europe, they're pretty famous. They decided to come back for this year, so the members we had from them, they went back. So for us and the Saviors, it was really a good idea to merge, especially since we were training a lot together that year. So the start of the year, then we had to check how many people we have, what will the roster be. We had a lot of different play styles. Like RV was really aggressive. The Saviors were well known for a really defensive play. So yeah, you have to find each other then. And we started training in January. And basically, if we look at the whole year, then I think we trained about 2 to 3 times a month at the Real Strike Arena. We did a little bit of training ourselves, like sprint training or just walks and stuff like that. And we have like a place here in the center of Holland from the NABV. That's basically the institute that controls airsoft in Holland. And you can do a little bit of target practice there as well. So that was basically our trainings for up to the globals. That 2-3 times a month, sometimes even 2 times a weekend, and doing that, having Discord calls about meetings, about tactics and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a pretty busy season, if I look back.
I think there's so much too that people don't see going on in the background, that like the teams are really performing, top of charts and consistently game after game after game. It's not just what they're doing at the tournament the weekend of. It's like you said, like the Discord calls, the meetings, the drills, working out. I feel like it's almost underrated, and people just don't understand. They're like, oh, I can just go, with 5 guys and go play airsoft for the weekend, and it's just not the case if you want to perform well.
No, exactly, and that I think you you have a good point there. I think that's really something that's underrated in this community, that people don't see the work that is put in by players, put in by teams. And yeah, they sometimes lack a deeper understanding of the game and how the physics of BBs work, that they get easily in a position to judge others while they don't know the whole story. And that's shameful. I mean, for instance, I agree, and I like the competitiveness on the field, and a little bit of the spiciness. I love it. I'm probably part of it as well. But like, you have to have some sort of respect also for how many money, time, energy is spent into this sport. And some of us really have this competitive mindset, like the professional competitive mindset, where you have to give up stuff in your personal life to actually perform, like not drinking alcohol a month before a tournament, dieting, going to training while your family member are celebrating their birthday and stuff like that. It's really underrated, and people tend to forget that.
Yeah, you got to eat, drink, and breathe the sport. That's for sure. You talked a little bit already about your team and stuff, but is there any major changes going on into the 2024 season that you are aware of regarding your team? I assume roster's probably going to stay the same.
Yeah, we as how it looks now, the roster will stay the same. The approach to the season will be a little different. Like the NSL is growing, they have big ambitions, and that also means that we as a team have to grow. That doesn't just concern our level of play, but it also concerns our organization. Like the Saviors has to be an organization that just delivers professional Speedsoft. And that also means that we have to do that consistently, also to be more interested by sponsors, by an organization to work with, like the NSL, but also like the Dutch NABV. So yeah, that's gonna change a little bit. We're also looking forward to get more of a group trainings going, that we have like a bigger roster for trainings apart from our own team, like to consistently drill each other and try to grow. And also, yeah, there's a new field, so that means that there will be a lot of work to get new tactics, to understand the new layout, what it means in terms of angles, in terms of tactics regarding where to put the flag, how to get yourself in a position to score. So yeah, this field is really challenging. I've played it once already. Still needs a little bit of tweaks, because you also always have to like tweak it around so it's really playable for competitiveness. But in general, it's a really fun field to play. So hats off to NSL for that.
Yeah, I remember you doing a little bit of a live stream on Instagram that I got to see this before they put it up on their website. I kind of have a rendering here. I don't know if you can see it on your side or not, but
yeah, I can see it.
What is your takeaways at the moment? Do you find any major strength points, weak points? I mean, obviously we don't want to give too much away, but I imagine so many people are going to be trying to dissect this, and to get the next season on the right foot, trying to help teams and players that are watching this get into the right mindset, or maybe even just get a loose breakout going for them. What do you foresee on this layout?
Well, for instance, the snake is completely different than we're used to. The snake has been and always been the last few years like this place where you have to crawl around and sneak up, and it's always hard to get momentum going because of the many objects, or like the maze kind of layout it has. This year, this snake, as you can see now, it basically contains a highway. You can just sprint all out throughout the snake now. So that means that the field has a different dimension to it. something we are not used to at the moment. And you also see like that big block in the middle, what's they're supposed to be Snake 50, I guess. Really is something different, because Snake 50 is always like this position where you can take control quite openly, but always low. And now this Snake 50 is a huge chunk of control, because you can do it low, you can do it high, you can comfortably hide yourself while having a tight angle. Like this whole snake is gonna change the whole game and how we approach it the past couple of 2 years.
Yeah, and it's so easy to bail out of it. I was talking to McSwain in our previous episode of this. In the previous versions, like the 2023 season, you committed. There's only 3 points. You can go all the way back out of the snake, you can cut out halfway, or you can go all the way to the front of the snake, and it's like you're kind of committed at that point. So it'll be interesting to see how people will like go into the snake and then immediately pull out, or if they'll, like you say, highway all the way up to the 50 or even farther. One thing that I'm not sure of, there's that media V that on the 2023 season right there on the 50. Do you know if that's still there? It's like the little step up that the refs used to be in. No, that's not there anymore. Okay, so
it's exactly like the field is now.
Okay, I just wanted to check, because I was like, that'd be interesting if that wasn't in the render, but that's a good clarification to have. Also mentioning, we're looking over here on the Doritos side. It just seems like all the tall bunkers are really massed together on this side, and I felt like in the 2023 season they were dispersed a bit more, so it's almost like you have that snake side, Doritos side. What are your takes on that?
It is exactly that. Like Aaron also mentioned, it's more like a paintball field, especially in airsoft. I think we in general our sport a little bit less interested for tall players. This year was already a big issue for tall players, and this will be even worse. So I'm guessing that if you're tall and you play M4, you're probably gonna play at the Dorito side for this season. Of course, it's all about athleticism. Like if you're really athletic, then you can punch yourselves in different directions and different positions. Also, the home is pretty wide, and you can also have like this box now where you can go in. So yeah, I think it will be mostly preferred by taller players, because also like those gaps between the Doritos, they have a better angle how taller you are. So it's probably an advantage, or a really big advantage if you're really small but not average height, I guess.
Solid take. I'll bring up one more thing on the map before we bounce off this. I don't want to sit on this too long, but I had mentioned to McSwain as well. It seems like in the 2023 season, when the games were like a point difference, it was really hard to get that one extra point, because like as soon as you cross that 50, it was just a kill zone all the way across the board. And second to none, they had mentioned they take that defensive stance and make people cross that 50 line, and it was just a kill zone. I think this may be a good solution, this layout, at least this year, for it, because, well, I can use my mouse here. In this area, it seems like this is very protective to guarantee players able to bump up into the opponent's zone 1 and possibly even that zone 2, looking at the U. So I'm curious to see if there will be a lot of plays on the snake side when the points are close.
I won't particularly say it will be snake side, because like as you said, it's really easy to crawl up there. On the other side, with this many Doritos, it's really easy to do like one step left to the next Dorito, step right to the next Dorito. So like it all goes down to tactics. What you do see here, though, is that I find it quite easy to get your players to a more favorable position, like at the 50. So really, like, gaining territory will be hard because it's so easy to counter it at the moment. It feels like this field will really be determined how well you break shoot and how well you do the opening phase. Because like blowing up sites, like for instance the snake site, this big highway, the only way to really control it is to have someone at the snake site. Because if you're low and you keep a line over this, yeah, exactly like your look, then basically no one can advance. But on the same side, it's really hard for you to get that player out of the way. But if you get him out of the way, then it's also basically there are no angles for the enemy to keep you from crawling forward. That's one of the things we find out during the first day. That's also why we widened the last V to the 50 box. That there's a bigger gap for you to hold that spot. Because it basically, at pickups, everyone was taking the 50 easily. Just control and go. So that are the minor tweak things we have to look at this field and maybe change a little bit where one side or one particular tactic won't be too strong because of the angles that are created.
Are they still, I mean, even with this posted, are they still like measuring things out basically then for this layout?
Yeah, they also have to test it out really yet and receive some feedback from like teams like Second to None and other teams that are experienced in testing and playing on fields. Because yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. On the one side, you want to check out this field and make tactics and gain this dominance and control of the weaknesses of the field. On the other side, you're also interested in making a field competitive and fun to play.
Right.
Like if everyone is forced to do the same tactic or at least part of it, then yeah, will there be a bigger brilliance of this game? Probably not. So you kind of also as a team have the responsibility to give your feedback about fields so it gets more fun and more challenging to play.
Well, I think we are well on our way to having a good season. I think with those adjustments you mentioned, they'll definitely reach it. I wanted to switch a little bit over to Instagram, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
I assume you've already seen this. We saw that Bert has made an official announcement of, just kind of taking a step back and letting the next generation hop in. I think it's a pretty good thing, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the subject matter.
Well, no one can deny Bert. Let's be honest, the man it's been there for a long time. He helped the sport grow, always with the mindset to make it bigger, to make it the actual sport. And in some way, and maybe all the ways, we owe Bert our game, our sport, our passion. You can't deny the man. On the other hand, I think Bert has been there for a longer period of time, being a manager and being the guy in charge. And I think in general, and I'm speaking as a manager myself in my daily work, but at some point you just have to acknowledge what you've done and move forward and let someone else take over. And I think that Bert has done a tremendous job in timing this. I think what he has created here is really the peak of what he wants to accomplish, even higher than that. And now there's a little bit of new vision, new fresher blood that wants to like detailed fine work this amazing construct he built. I think for the sport, it's a good thing to have a different CEO, different perspective, probably maybe decisions a little bit different. It always helps to have someone else basically perfect the already great work you did.
Yeah, and I think I agree, first off, but I think it's super cool too that now he has the opportunity to even step back and enjoy it. Like, he gets to watch, he gets to partake, he gets to, mingle with the audience and enjoy it as a spectator, which I think is pretty huge. And I think Fives, I think the man is, after this season, is going to be super comfortable in taking the realms.
Yeah, but it's also like you have to acknowledge Fives. I mean, he's not that old. I think he's like 27, 28. He was a player from a pretty big team also. He still has his passion to play the sport. And for him to step down as a player and fully commit to organizing a sport, yeah, you can only respect decisions like that. That means there's some real heart, some real passion there. Because for a fact know that his job isn't always as fun. I mean, they always whine about stuff you do wrong or can do better. It's not like you get the sea of acknowledgement he should deserve. And I think that was the same for Bert. So it's a hard position to be in because everyone wants to play, but everyone has always something to complain about. But yeah, as for Aaron, like also the amazing player he was, and probably still is, then I can only respect that someone is so devoted to make a sport for us.
Yeah. And time will tell ultimately how things will go, but I have full confidence that everything's going to go smoothly. Speaking of... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the Fives, for instance, he already contacted me and other captains, and he's asking for feedback and asking for ideas also for next year and stuff like that. And it's really nice that he wants to have this synergy also with existing teams to basically create what we want to play.
Trying to think of a good way to segue this, but just coming off of Globals at your home field, knowing that next year Globals is going to be in the US, you guys excited for the trip? I mean, it's going to be different. You're used to playing, I would say, most of the season in the same facility, but now knowing that the last event to cap everything off is going to have to be overseas. I assume you guys are going to qualify and be there, so I'm just counting days until the event, I assume. But
yeah, we're actually really excited to play at Extreme. The field will probably be a little bit different for us, also considering there's no turf. The bunkers probably in the angles will be a little different. So yeah, Extreme or East Coast Energy probably has the advantage there. But as you've seen, East Coast Energy at our event, if you're a good team and you prepare well and you get the layout, get to play or train a little bit before the tournament, then in general you're still playing almost the same game as you're used to. So adjusting to this is something we just have to train on. In general, we do that as well. We play the ESL in Belgium. That's a 4 versus 4 paintball kind of game, like the DSL. We also play other stuff, so we are sometimes also forced in just going to a tournament and having a completely new field. So we're just gonna approach it like that and just gather the information and basically sharpen our knives at the field itself.
Well, I mean, it's just like a switch. Regardless of the circumstances that you're in, you just got to turn it on and perform. So,
exactly.
There's There's one more thing that I just kind of wanted to touch on, which is a bit of an unfortunate thing to see happen in general, and I'm referring to Nos Kappa. For those, I mean, it's all over social media, like everybody trying to help out and figure out what happened to it, but you kind of paint a little situation there, because I understand you guys have done some work to try and rectify this situation.
Basically, after the last buzzer, when we lost against second to none, we had this booth in the dead tunnel where our stuff were, and we basically all went on the field to congratulate S2N with their victory and just to end the game in a respectful manner. At that point, someone saw the opportunity to grab Nos Kappa, and the worst thing about it is not really the Kappa itself. I mean, it's still horrible, but imagine like we as a team, we trained all year for a global event, and we won every match in the round robin, and then we came short in the finals after a really hard battle against us second to none, and then we were all pretty happy with ourselves and content about this weekend, and we had such an amazing weekend, and there was such a good vibe within the team, and that was stolen with that Kappa. Basically, we didn't really get to enjoy talking afterwards. We did not get to enjoy like drinking a beer with yourself or with East Coast Energy. The whole event for us ended in the frustration and looking for that high Kappa, and that's something that affected the whole team. So not just Nick and his stolen baby. Fortunately, though, we have an amazing community. A lot of people donated, and then we got topped off by Theo Griezmann from Vinci with a substantial amount. That at the moment we ordered all the parts for Nick to get almost the same Kappa back. Like getting that from the community is really amazing, and we can only be thankful for that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate the situation that happened, but it's also such a bonding and building experience that the community really came together, and it's like, hey, we want to just, really help you out. And that GoFundMe, I understand, is still ongoing. If people wanted to help out, it's on your guys' Instagram, I think.
Yeah, in all fairness, I think we almost have everything now. Like a little bit donations always welcome, but everything we have extra, we decided to put it in our Globals fund. Like we have to make a fund for next year how to get to Globals. We have to get like 10 other guys to the USA, so that will be quite costly. So we're definitely looking in ways to work with the community, and maybe in some merchandise where we can get a little bit of help to get to the USA. Well, but we'll be fine with that.
Yeah, of course. So for those that don't know, what is the ways to like follow the Saviors? You guys have your Instagram account. I'll pull that up here, but what are some other ways that they can follow you? That's
with the Saviors account. We all have our personal accounts. I think there are below every post we have, the team. We have Cringe Airsoft on YouTube. He regularly makes videos. The same with Nosy and Grey Airsoft. And starting next year, we're also gonna revise our own YouTube account. And for the European players, we are usually there at all the open events like pickup games at Real Strike. We are there for like ESL in Belgium. We're for DSL and for the Dutch, and for the other major tournaments in Real Strike, we basically are always there. So if you need us, if you want anything from us, you can always hit us up, and we'll have a chat, and we'll do our best to help you guys out.
Cool. I mean, thanks so much for hopping on here with me and doing this podcast. If there's any shout outs you wanted to give before I wrap this thing up, go for gold.
You're putting me on the spot right here. Like the shout out, I already mentioned it, but the shout out will really be to Bert and Fives, like for making this sport as amazing as it is and with the potential to grow so much. I'm really excited for next year, and also really excited for the amazing experience we're gonna get as a team, like playing this sport, especially in the future. We keep grinding, and we want to keep our second spot, but we kind of want the top spot. So we'll definitely go for that. And also to all the fans out there, like you have no clue how many messages we personally and also got on our team Instagram to win the finals and stuff like that. It was actually quite heartbreaking, and while we lost the match, I think we won the hearts, and we really stand victorious as a team of friends, and I was really proud of that.
Maybe some future merch drops for the supporting fans down the road.
Yeah, exactly. That we're definitely looking at a merch package to sell next year. Like all the money we will get with that will go to our global fund to get us to the globals. Because that trip is 100% happening for us, whatever it takes. We're dying to see the arena there, the players there, and we really also hope that like the USA, the NSL gets really bigger and bigger, because in the end, the only thing you want is for the competitiveness to grow, because that's in the end the biggest goal, to play competitive games and get on top of that.
Absolutely. More players in the game, more people to shoot at, right?
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for hopping on here with me.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for that.
And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Good morning. 19-36.